Okay, hi guys. So it turns out my heat doesn't work, so that's why I am off to the races of sitting in my house. You can see I have a scarf on waiting for the plumber to get here. Anyway, on this thing right over here, what I'm going to do is show you through a video how to put all this stuff in a stat plot on your calculators and then find your line of best fit also on your calculator. So this is almost like a calculator type lesson that you're going to watch. And if you don't watch it, you're not going to know what to do. So over here, I have a couple of I have like 30 cars when you compare their city mileage to their highway mileage. So I'm going to put this in L1 and I'm going to put this one in L2. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to go into our calculators. And if you want to follow along and do that, I'm going to clear all this out. And remember, everything occurs in stat, which is again row 2 in the third column. You press that stat key and you notice that you can press 1 to edit. And I am going to arrow over, see what I have up top here, across the top, and let's see, interesting. Okay, what I might do, check this out, is I might create, I think I can create list 1, so I'm going to do second 1. Oops, I meant to clear that out, and I'm going to name that second L1. That's what I want to name it. So you can always name these anything you want, and I'm going to arrow over here, and I'm going to do second L2. So you can rename these. You can call them Bob. I can call those highway mileage. I can call those city mileage if I want to. So you press the clear button to clear everything out of there, and you up and over to the second one for your list 2. You press clear, and then you press enter. So now we have everything cleared out. So I'm going to start typing in those numbers. So I'm going to type them in. You do 20, enter, 19, enter, and so forth. I will be right back. So as soon as I'm done with these, I will be right back. Okay, so I put everything into list 1. Now I'm going to go over, arrow over, and I'm going to put everything back into list 2 now. So I'm going to go up to list 2, arrow over, up at the top there. I'm going to start putting that data in. I'll be right back. Okay. So as you can see, I'm right here and everything is ready to go. I have the same number of entries in list 1 as I do in list 2. So now I want to create a stat plot. So I'm going to press second y equals, and it's going to take me into stat plot. So you guys, by the way, when you do your homework packet, you're going to put stuff in stat plot 1, something else in stat plot 2, and something else in stat plot 3. Anytime you're doing a stat plot, you should turn off the other ones to make sure. You're going to keep everything in there, but you're going to turn your stat plots off. So after we're done with stat plot 1, when we do stat plot 2, we're going to turn off stat plot 1. So when we go to make our scatter plots, it's actually going to have everything fit inside the screen the way it's supposed to. So in the meantime, we're going to press 1 to go into stat plot 1, and I'm going to turn it on by pressing enter. The type that I want is good because it already has that this right over here is, right over here, this has that it's going to be a scatter plot. And I want everything from list 1 and list 2. So I am going to arrow down. And to get list 1, I press my second key. And under the number 1, you will see list 1 there. So you're going to press second 1, and that's my list 1. And then I'm going to arrow down, and I'm going to press second 2 to put up list 2. I like that the marking looks like this. I have my cute little magenta color. And then what we're going to do is we are going to press that zoom key, which is up on the top row here. You're going to press zoom, and then you'll notice number 9 is a stat. So you're going to press zoom 9. So this is the scatter plot for the highway mileage. And now you guys should probably be saying to yourselves, wow, is this a strong correlation or is this a weak correlation and so forth? And to me, I'm going with a weak correlation. However, I'm still going to find my line of best fit from there. But before we do that, the first thing I want you to do is I want you to press that, that trace key. And when you do that, then all of a sudden you have the values 20, 29, which means there was a car who gets a city mileage of 20 miles per gallon, and that same car gets highway mileage of 29 miles per gallon. If you press your down arrow, or you press left and right actually, this one bounces to 19, 30. Okay, so 19, 30 pretty much tells us, let me see something here. because I don't know if you guys can see it. So I'm just going to, nope, you can't see it. Well, maybe if I make it a little bit smaller, it'll bounce up. There you go. Yeah, so this one here is 19, 30. And the beautiful thing about that is that this car gets 19 miles per gallon on the city, and then it gets 30 on the highway. I wonder what car that is. We'll find that out at some point. This one, it gets 19 miles per gallon on the city, and it gets 29 for the highway, and so forth, okay? So now what we're going to do is we are going to create the line of best fit. So we're going to press second, quit, and we're going to be out into our home screen. And now here's the interesting thing. We are going to put the linear regression line that this corresponds to. So in order to do that, again, we go back into that stat button again, and you'll notice your second option right here is calc. So we are going to arrow over to calc, and you'll notice that number four is your option. So we're going to click on to number 4. I'm going to press the number 4. Now, my calculator is pretty impressive because it has all this exciting stuff in here. For those of you who have, you'll have literally what this says up top here, linear regression, and then there's going to be a cursor right over here waiting for you to type stuff in. So here's what you're going to type in. You're going to type in, for us, it's going to be second, everything's in L1, right? So second 1, and down here, I'm going to do second L2. And if you remember what I said to you yesterday, you want to store this equation in Y1, okay? So we're going to store this equation in Y1, and to get Y1, again, you have to pay attention. You go to the third row, you go straight across over to here to where it says vars. You press the vars key. You arrow over to Y vars. You press 1 for function, and then you press 1 again. So now it knows that it's going to store that in Y1 on our calculators, and then we just arrow down to press calculate. So this is my line of best fit, okay? This is my linear regression line. Give me 1 second, I'll be right back. Okay, so I wrote this down, but I wrote this number, the A, which is our slope. I wrote that and rounded it to 4 decimal places. So I'm going to, on the next page, you're going to see I'm going to put 0.3495. And then I said that the y-intercept is 22.02. Now, for those of you who have the old version of the calculators, okay, I'm going to show you on here technically what you are literally going to do. You are literally going to write, come on, annotate here. You are literally going to have the linear reg ax plus b. Your cursor is flashing right here. You're going to do L1, comma, L2, comma, Y1. So again, you did the same exact thing we did on our calculators. It's just that you have to use the comma, which is above the number 7. So for you guys, you would do your second 1, comma, second L2, comma, and then you go over to your vars key, you press what vars, you press the Y vars, you press 1 for function, and then you press 1 for Y1, okay? So now that we have that, I'm going to say that the equation that we actually have is y equals 0.3495x plus 22.02, okay? So this is our line of best fit. Now, if I go back into my calculator and I go ahead and I want to graph, you'll notice if I click onto the y equals, my equation's in there, and then I can press the graph key, and that line is the line of best fit. So your line should look just like my line when you go to graph it. Now, the really cool thing is you can create predictors. You can predict like a car that gets, 27 miles city-wide, what do they get on the highway kind of thing. So you can use the line to go ahead and do that. So if I do second trace to calculate, you'll see number 1 is a value. So let's say that you have a car that gets 27 miles to the gallon on the highway. Boom. Whoops. Uh-oh. What happened here? Is there nothing in there? Oh, you know what? I don't have anything high enough, so it's outside. I'm actually doing an extrapolation, but my window isn't big enough to actually calculate that. So let's go back and let's do 25. Let's see if it lets me do it. Okay. Yeah, you see how 25 is over here? We would have to stretch our window out to make that. So the prediction is this, is that if you get 25 miles to the gallon on the city, then you should get about almost 31 miles to the gallon on the highway. So that's pretty much what those predictors are. Now, here's the thing. On some of your questions, I'm going to ask you about a residual. Like, what is the residual? So in other words, over here, a car that got 25 miles to the gallon city is actually up top here. So, when I ask you the residual, I want to know what the difference is between this number and this number. So what's the actual value minus the value on the line, and that equals what is called your residual, okay? So let me go back to this guy over here. And 25, if you look over here, gave you 32. So if I were to go back to my thing here, right? Go back, come on. This was actually 32. So this is 30.75. So we would do 32 minus 30.75, which is like 1.25, which is pretty good. So it's a pretty strong residual. So that one's relatively close. So anyway, so if I ask you to actually use the line to predict that, where the heck am I going here? Workspace back here. Okay, so if I said to you, if you get 25, if I said 27 miles to the gallon, right? So let's say I said 27 and I want to plug in X equals 27. So a car that you would expect to get 27 miles to the gallon on the citywide, what would you expect him to get it via highway? So you would just simply plug in X and then solve. So then Y would be equal to 0.3495 times 27 plus 22.02. And that's literally how you're finding it. So if you multiply it all out, which I will do, I'll be right back. I hope you went and calculated it yourselves, and you should get Y is equal to 31.465 miles per gallon in the highway, okay? Because remember, X was our city mileage, Y is our highway mileage. So that's pretty much how we would do something like that. So now let's go back into your calculators real quick, because I want to show you that you can turn off one stat plot and turn one back on. So I'm going to go back in here. So now if you go back into your lists, so if I press my stat key and I go to edit, I have data in, if I look over here, I have data in L5 and L6, and that was your breaths from yesterday. So let's say I want to put that in stat plot too. So for you guys, you'll create new lists for the problems that I give you to do. So we'll go into stat plot. The first thing you want to do is turn this one off. So go over here, and you're going to arrow over, and you're going to turn it off. And now you're going to go and you can go ahead and click onto, let's see, you can go over here, and actually you have to quit out. So second quit out. All right, and then again, we'll go into stat plot. So you notice all your data is still left in stat plot 1, which is what I'm going to be looking for when I check your homework. But this time you're going to go and you're going to click on to stat plot 2. So you're going to press 2. Okay, and in stat plot 2, we're actually going to turn that on. So you're going to press on by pressing enter. And again, you want to scroll over to the type that you're talking about. And the minute you change it to the scatter plot that we want, you'll notice that it does this. So now we'll do second L5, because whoops, I didn't mean to do that. See, she was a hot mess because I can see my time is dwindling. I only have a couple minutes left, so we're going to go to stat plot 2. And I'm going to scroll down to my X list, and I'm going to do my second L5, press my enter key, and my second L6, and I am going to do a zoom 9. But what did I forget to do? You bet, I forgot to shut that line off, so I'm going to go back into Y equals, and I'm going to turn this baby off and press enter. I'm turning him off, so when I go to hit my graph, that's the scatter plot for your breaths from yesterday. And remember, again, you know how to find the equation of best fit for this, guys, but again, I'll take you through. So let's quit out of here. We go to stat. We go across to calc. We press 4. We put in L5 and L6. L5, L6. Oops, clear that out because you can see I'm running time here. L5, arrow down. L6. I want to store that in Y2. So you're going to go to vars, and you're going to arrow over to Y vars. You're going to press 1, but instead of pressing Y1, you press Y2. Okay, arrow down to calculate, enter we go. Okay, so now if I go into Y equals, you will know it's there, and noticing it's on. This one's off because the equal sign is off, and if I press graph, that, my friends, is my line of best fit. So I am looking for 3 stat plots in those packets that I actually gave to you, okay? I wish you all the best of luck, and I will see you soon.